Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video. Guys, for those of you that have been following us recently or as far back as when we started, you will know that this recovery truck is a very vital part of the Salvage Rebuilds channel. We use this truck all the time to go out, collect builds, drop builds off and pick up the larger items that I can't get in my van. We couldn't do it without this truck. It's that important to us. So it is time for the yearly maintenance. For those of you guys that reached out about the truck rocking when I'm unloading, we know we've had a problem with a handbrake this side and it's a seized caliper. I've tried to free it off, but it just hasn't worked. So you will see from the start of today's video, we have proudly been sponsored by Comline. Guys, if you don't know who Comline is, Comline supply quality parts at affordable prices and now are available at your motor factors. They supply the trade and then the public can buy from those motor factors. Guys, I'm going to link Comline's details in the description down below, in particular their Facebook page where they just recently did a giveaway of tickets to Goodwood's Festival of Speed. So head over to their Facebook page and check them out. I want to thank Comline once again for sponsoring today's video. We're going to start with this rear wheel in particular because this is the one that's giving the problem. It's quite loud and the more you pick up speed, the more you can actually hear it. But after leaving it sitting for a while, for the first few miles, you can't hear anything. So I think it is a case of the caliper sticking. Let's get it up in the air, get that wheel off and have a good look. Little bit of a demo, didn't take long to strip that out at all. You can see it is due a new set of pads. They're not worn all the way down, they have got meat on them, but the caliper here is the issue. Chris, if I could get you to yank my handbrake up. This actual arm here, the handbrake arm, is not springing back on its own, so Chris is just going to pull the handbrake up. That's not even worked. Has that gone up a bit? Yeah. That's it. It's got. Do it again. Yeah, you can see it's pulling in there, but it's not actually releasing on its own. So that is half of our issue. I'm going to disconnect the cable, completely remove that caliper, and then spray a bit of oil down that cable as well, just to free that off. But that arm, when I just come in, was all the way in, and there was no way it was coming out without a little bit of help from a bar. I actually forgot to press record on this for the second time, but you can't really show a great deal of it anyway, guys. Not on time lapse, you're not going to see a great deal. So I cleaned up the original carrier, fitted those nice new brake pads, fitted the carrier back on, and then went ahead and fitted the caliper. There is slight variations, but like anything like this, normally it is for an improvement. So the old caliper, I'm just going to pop this in the tripod for a minute because I put it down here on the floor and I want to try and explain what was actually going on with that. Sorry guys, do bear with me. All right, that's more like it. And there we go. So on this caliper, as you can see, the brake cable actually goes through that hole there. And then it hooks in this piece. I'm probably too close. It hooks in this, and then when you pull the handbrake, it squeezes that arm there. But if I grab a pair of pliers and show you, again, probably not grab the best tools in the world to do this, but see how stiff that is to come back. That shouldn't be like that. That should be running freely, and it's got a spring on there, so an element of spring loaded as well. I'm just waiting for Chris to come back in. He's just popped indoors for a minute. As soon as he comes in, we're going to bleed this one up. I did have the pipe clamp on it anyway to save any coming through, but this new caliper is going to need a bleed through, and then we can start the process of sticking the wheel back on. Seeing that little clip, guys, is working perfect now. So I've just cleaned the brake disc up with some brake cleaner, and I've just put a bit of copper slip round the face of it here, just to aid getting it off next time if the wheel needs to come off, because that was quite difficult. Chris is in the background. All these little back springs for my ramps, they're really tight, so plus really loose now. We've just oiled that up, put a bit of copper slip on there, and did I do that or did you? I think I did that, didn't I? Yes, I reversed into the fence out there and actually bent the back of it. Chris is straightening that up. But this broken light and this light, Chris actually done on the A20.
I don't remember.
On the petrol station on the A20, you scraped the wall on the way out.
I don't remember.
So yeah, Chris done that. So he's good. He don't remember. Yeah, of course he don't. Guys, while we're on the point actually of Chris driving, all of you always tell me off. So why don't you let Chris drive any of the cars? No, not that you don't want to as well. You don't actually have a trader's policy anymore, do you? Motor trade policy. Chris went to renew his last year and it was almost double, wasn't it? So he said, Rob, you do the driving, I just don't need it. He's just got a normal insurance now. So that's the reason why Chris don't drive. Let's get this wheel back on and move on. Got a lovely huge workbench here today, really good. That's all done now, quite happy with it. We did notice when we was putting the tyre back on, it's actually got some light cracks inside it. So I've just made a call and actually ordered 5 new tyres for it. 1 for the spare and 4 tyres round it. Even though these front tyres still look reasonably good, it was Chris's idea. I said I'm going to buy 3. He said, Rob, you cannot buy 3 tyres, just get 5 for it. So, oh, you said 4, sorry. And the spare, so that is the plan. We'll have to get them done at a later date, but I'm going to do the other side off camera. No point showing it. It's exactly the same as this side, and then we'll move on. I think it would be fair to say, guys, once you've done a few sets of brake pads, they just become easier and easier and easier to do. So the front brake pads on this one didn't actually look too bad, but it's nice. We're going around doing all 4 corners like Chris just recommended. We change all 4 tyres as well. So that's new front brake disc, new pads. I've cleaned up all the carrier, cleaned up the caliper. Got the tool out there for winding the pistons back. I think you've all seen me use that there before. So pretty much there with it. Again, it's going to be an exact repeat on the other side, so I'll do that one off camera. I've just got to clean that disc up, torque this one up, and put the wheel back on. Really going through it quite quickly. I am hoping this is going to be completely different. I'm sure it is now. That back caliper was severely stuck. I even got Chris to get hold of it earlier, put it in the vise, pull it backwards and forwards, and he said that wouldn't even come back. It's knackered. So all 4 discs and pads now done all the way around it. I am just waiting to hear back from the guy at A2 on a price for all the new tyres on it. But in the meantime, I am going to just have a quick run down the motorway and back in it and make sure that that squealing's completely gone. When I did that bit of video in earlier where I was pulling the handbrake up and down, there was a little bit of squeaking, but that was actually coming from the single cable that runs down the middle and then meets 2 cables here. So we've lubed all that up and hopefully it should be fine. Let's get it out on the road. Look at that, for a first time in a long time. I had to get them to clean it. It drives perfect now and not a sound from that back wheel. Before I set off, I'll quickly run the mop over both sides and the bonnet, because where this used to have that logo right through here, you could see a bit of dirty water there. You could see Smart really predominant shining through there. So I'll quickly run the mop over it. And you can see where I didn't want to go too close to that bumper, I've missed that bit, but I can do all that by hand. I run it across the bonnet as well, and I went down this side. You can just about make out a little faint line there, so it wants a hand polish now, but completely transformed it back to beautiful again. So I'm really happy with that. So guys, waiting to hear back from A2. They're obviously really busy. But we got the KA wheel in the back of the car and the little car outside. So I'm actually going to whip over there, get that tyre fitted, have the tracking done, and then we'll get a price on them tyres. Let's do it. Definitely one of the worst ones we've ever had. This is terrible, Rich, you said, didn't you? Awful.
I would agree. It's that far out, isn't it?
It's that far out, it's an X. Guys, I don't understand it. I've said that before, but Rich did just say it's bounced up and down a fair few curves, and most of it is on the front near side, so it's bad, isn't it? It looks bad when it's all red. I've never seen all 4 red before, so he's working on that. He'll get that sorted for us. I just drove it home, guys, and it drives perfect now. The steering wheel's straight as anything, and it just drives lovely. Last time I done a video on this, quite a lot of you said, Rob, you could have walked around it, and guys, I completely just didn't think. It slipped my mind. So this rear bumper was painted and the whole quarter panel. We also had that spoiler done, didn't we, because that was quite bad, and it was blended into that door. The front wasn't touched. No, it wasn't. There was no damage on there. There's a few little tiny marks. In fact, I think it was a few days ago I got it cleaned, so bit of a good, but it's going to want a good polish up. I'm going to go around it and polish the whole thing, and it should come up pretty nice. This side, yeah, that passenger side door had that scratch in it through here, if you remember. I think it was right in that line through there. So that's been painted, and that quarter panel, it was going to be a blend into the bumper, but because he was doing the door, he painted that whole side of it. And of course that spoiler, it all matches really nice. So as usual, Rich didn't let us down at all. Guys, I don't understand this. I've said it before, but I know quite a lot of you do. So this was it before he touched it, and this was it after. And he said this is as close as he can get it, and it will drive very nice. And it certainly does drive very nice. So this one is pretty much ready. I'm going to polish it, and that's going to be up on Instagram later this week, early next week, for sale. So not the normal longest exciting video that you all wanted to see, guys, but that truck, like I said, is so important to us, and it had to be done. We do run out of time during the day, so I've still got the service to do on that, which is going to be quite a big one. We're going to be doing the cam belt, water pump, just checking through everything and changing all of the fluids, including the most important one I want to do is that brake fluid change, because I said to Chris it does look quite dark, and he said where that caliper's been sticking on, did you say it probably got quite warm?
Maybe got hot.
Yeah, maybe got hot and it's ruined it. And to be fair, I've looked through the history and I can't see when it was last changed, so that is something I definitely want to do. Huge thank you again to Comline, guys, for getting on board with this build and hooking us up. We really do appreciate that. And of course, I'm going to put all their links in the description down below. Check out their Facebook page. Quite exciting, the giveaways that they do and that they run. So yeah, check them out. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram at Salvage Rebuilds. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoy it. We really do appreciate it, and it shows your appreciation. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you later in the week for the next one.